We've all seen the stereotype of the overbearing queen bee boss who makes everyone else's life miserable. It may seem like a tired trope, but some women do feel that female bosses bully them more than their male ones do. Studies show that when women have a preference, they would choose to have a male boss instead of a female one. One paper even found that the longer a woman was in the workforce, the less likely she was to want a woman as her boss. So where does this feeling come from? At a glance, the queen bee phenomenon seems to reinforce the idea that women are naturally vicious. But that's actually not true. Instead, bitchiness is a byproduct of the modern workplace. There are a few conditions that create these toxic attitudes. Some women disparage each other simply because they believe negative ideas about their own gender. System justification is a psychological concept in which oppressed groups struggle to make sense of an unfair world and internalize negative stereotypes. You can see this at play in a series of studies where researchers asked participants to pick teammates for a round of computerized Jeopardy! The players were given a choice between insecure and confident male and female partners, and there was a cash prize. The male participants had no preference between the confident man and the confident woman, but not a single female participant chose the confident woman over the confident man. Another theory is that when women work in male-dominated environments, they're actually less likely to have solidarity with their fellow female employees. A 1980s study looked at male-dominated law firms where no more than 5% of the partners were female, and other firms where women were better represented. It found that in the overwhelmingly male firms, competition between the women was intense, and almost everyone hated the female partners. But in the firms with more female partners, women were more supportive of each other. Women in the male-dominated firms believed that only so many of them would make it to the senior ranks, and that they were vying with one another for those spots. This dynamic is known as tokenism. When there appear to be few opportunities for women, they begin to view their gender as an impediment. Feeling like a token can lead to another psychological phenomenon known as favoritism threat. Women's concern that they'll seem biased if they help one another. One study found that women in prestigious positions were reluctant to recruit other women to join their teams. That's because women often think that the way to get ahead is to distance themselves from other women and to try to blend in with the men. But when women do try to act like men, they run into a whole new set of biases. Male bosses can be frank, but female managers are expected to soften their language or always act like team players. Because of that, some academics have argued workers just don't respect female bosses as much as male ones. This leads to a vicious cycle of bosses treating their workers worse, which makes the workers think less of their bosses, and so on. But at the root of it all is the same problem. When the path to success is too narrow for women, they feel like they can barely squeeze through themselves, let alone bring other women along. So how do we fix it? We could make it easier for women to break through to the top so they don't feel so threatened. And we can recognize our biases so we can tell the difference between a queen bee and just a tough boss. This is You Are Here, a show about the science behind everyday life. I'm Olga Hazan, thanks for watching.